Off. What is going on, everyone? Got everything going here properly. Hey, everyone. Thanks, Rich. FBI, how are you? Elvis, how are you? TJ. God damn it. All right. Sorry, got to make sure my volume and everything's set. We're good to go. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Sorry about the glasses. A little cold, got a headache, and my lights are just blasting my eyes for some reason. Right. Let's see what this says. Rick, soon you could do a segment on top 10 towns with down balloons. That would be hysterical. What is up? Chicago, Illinois. Big fans. How are you, bud? I had an uncle named Bud. I think his first name was Robert, but they called him Bud. And he was an older gentleman, but he had this weird twitch where every time he'd say anything negative about someone, he would do this weird thing with his head. And he'd be like saying stuff like, "Well, that guy's just a lazy son of a bitch." That's every time, no matter what it was. I used to work with this guy, and I think he was a pretty heavy drinker. McMuffin is doing great. McMuffin is doing great. Zup V. A lot of people in here tonight already. 127. Wow. And I didn't even really announce this till like 10 minutes ago. But I'll tell you what, we'll let you in here even though your name is Bud. No, just kidding. Now, what's funny is some of you guys are going to start doing that. Like my old Uncle Bud. I think that absolved Bud from uh, head and that is good news. Moonlight, you're the one reason I get out of bed. Well, thank you for that. Oh my God. So I got to tell you guys this. I went on a cruise. It was a YouTubers cruise, vloggers cruise, and it was really interesting to say the least. Especially since I'm kind of anonymous. It's occasionally people will recognize me. Normally they hear my voice. Not a lot of people see my face. It's mostly my voice. They'll hear my voice. They'll say something to the effect of, "Wow, you sound just like this YouTuber I listen to all the time." And they'll all talk to them. Well, I was on this cruise. There was like 900 fans of cruise vloggers, and some of them watched me. I was like the only non-cruise YouTuber on there. There's a whole subsect of genre. Excuse me, it's making me burp. Um, where they just do cruise videos, and I'm trying to get into it on my other channel. I'm working my way through it to see how I like it. But anyway, so I go on this cruise. I didn't think anyone would know me there. I was freaking wrong. I got mobbed like 4 different times. Now, when I say mobbed, 4 or 5 people would come up to me and start, want to take selfies and stuff like that. Then other people that weren't on the vlogger cruise would see this crowd around me, even though it was like 4 or 5 people taking pictures with me. So now they're surrounding it too, and it just builds like this snowball effect. Kind of freaked me out. I mean, it was nice, but it kind of freaked me out. Argentina. How do you get around Portland? Do you drive, take local transit? I mostly drive. I don't mind the transit here. It's actually pretty nice. I used to all the time. But yeah. Hold on, I just saw something. Was it a swingers cruise? It was not. Um, but I did find something out about those. They have swinger cruises, and the way someone is one of those things, they put a magnet on their or a sign on their door that's a pineapple. That's like the giveaway. Briggs, I'm in a brewery in Silver Springs, Maryland, I imagine. I enjoy your videos. Best of luck. Thank you, Eric. Someone said they're not getting video. I cruised out of New Orleans to Cozumel, Honduras, Belize, and back through Mexico to our Costa Maya. Argentina. How was Argentina today? Well, thank you, Shelly. Yeah, it's weird celebrity status. LA Prepper, hello. Favorite European country I've been to? Portugal. Uh, Portland is nowhere near Detroit. And actually, I think Portland now has more people than Detroit, or it's pretty close. Nudist cruise. I have not been to a nudist cruise. It's one of those things you should probably do in your 20s, but when you start getting into your late 40s, you should probably quit doing that. So long. Are you the same person that said bye a minute ago? Is there a topic or just, yeah, we kind of do little of everything here? Yeah, that's me. Briggs, LeBron, and MJ. Screen is black. Is anyone else seeing a black screen? Because I'm looking at it right here and I see it perfectly. I don't know if the pineapple's a myth. Henderson, Nevada. How you doing, Thomas? Here's a good one. How many hours a day does it rain where you live? Is it on and off or heavy all day? So here's what's strange. We do get heavy rain, but honestly, I grew up in Southern California. We got heavier rain there, kind of that tropical thing, when it would move up towards Los Angeles. Here, it's always like a constant sprinkle with the occasional rain. That's the big difference. It's usually just a sprinkle. Chad, hey, thank you for supporting the channel, Diblin. Um, I will keep up the go Eagles. Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, so nobody else is getting a black screen. So if you're getting a black screen right now, I think it's on your end because everyone else seems to be getting it. Top 10 cities that offer the most tax benefits for Hollywood movies, TV networks. So, Dregs, I've been working on one, but I'm not sure how people take it. But places where movies are filmed, or something like that. We've been tossing around a couple different ideas, like the most filmed locations, or take a movie or a TV series, and this is where they filmed it. I talked about it when I did a Georgia one time, and people really liked it. I talked about places they filmed The Walking Dead at. I might do that again. It's something we've thrown around before. My opinion on North Carolina, it's an underappreciated state, in my opinion. Boom, Bill. Thank you for supporting the channel. Bill, hi Briggs from San Francisco. Getting better. Yeah, I'm getting there. Last couple days was pretty bad. But thank you for supporting the channel, Bill. Really appreciate it. There's my official first cough of the night. Yeah, you'd have to pull out New York and LA out of that one, because everything's filmed to those places. Actually, a lot of places are filmed in Vancouver and Toronto, and they're played off as being in LA or New York. Is there a frickin' Briggs always staying? That's me. Thanks, Dan. Hi, Briggs. I visited my family in Louisiana last month for my mother's funeral. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That is a bummer. How'd you like Louisiana, though? Oh, Miss, that could be good. One I am working on is just a brief explanation of every state. You know, just my take on it kind of thing. Boom. Oh, Johanna Briggs, video controller dance, goofy under. Woot. I'm not even sure what that means. Opinion on Nashville. It's pretty good. But Johanna, thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Lou Briggs, is it true Portland is the top vegan center of the USA? I don't know for sure, but I've heard that before too. We also have the only vegan strip club in the world, in the country at least. I know that. Boldy Go, thank you for supporting the channel. Howdy from Southern Utah. How is Southern Utah tonight? I'm kind of a fan of St. George. You know, I don't really like, even though it's not necessarily desert. Well, it kind of is, but I don't like the desert. But I like St. George. It's beautiful. Medford, Oregon. How are you? I've never heard of that. Hello from Colorado. How'd you like my Colorado video? That thing's killing it today. That one's a sleeper. I put the reason everyone's moving out of Colorado. So here's the thing. Colorado has more people moving out than moving in, but they have a low death rate and a high birth rate right now. So it's kind of still growing, even though a bunch of people are moving out. It's weird. But that video, I woke up today and it was doing okay last couple days. Today it's killing it. Grand Forks. Encinitas. How are you out there? My thoughts on Lexington, Kentucky. So I'm not a fan of the state of Kentucky. Um, they're sort of like Mississippi in a way. They're better than Mississippi. Don't get me wrong, but they've had extreme poverty there for a very long time, and they've had several opportunities to somewhat fix it, and they just decide not to. It's weird. But Lexington's a beautiful city. Greetings from the woods of Saskatchewan, Canada. Love your videos, even though Canada rarely shows up on them. Yeah, Canada does rarely show up. Something I've been thinking about ranking all the provinces. Cannon Beach. I think you put one too many A's there, but are you going to do Cannon Beach video? I do plan on it. We wanted to before the end of last summer when I was doing those small town tours, and we didn't get to it, but I definitely want to do it. Once the weather gets better, I'm going to go out there and do a video. I'm also going to do Lafayette, Oregon too, as soon as it gets better. So I'm working on a video that I might put out tomorrow of just walking around the French Quarter of Louisiana, of New Orleans, and I got some really good footage. It's such a cool city. So it's got some dangerous parts. You stay in the French Quarter, it's sketchy sometimes, but most of the time it's just a beautiful city with a lot of history and a lot of music going on everywhere. Like, check this out. So that was everywhere when we were down there. It was amazing. It was just little things like that. People playing music, little jazz bands and blues bands just sitting on the corner. I saw a guy that was like 6'5", dressed like a woman, singing songs. It was great. Oh, Sumter. Oh, I've been there in decades. Denzel, how are you, buddy? Let's see what this one says. I'm considering my future living options in Louisiana. If California has a total infrastructure failure, electricity, gas, water, sewer, trash, going out of service for a week or more, just like Texas. I don't think they'd have that problem. Hey, Briggs, my wife and I love watching your videos. Stay well and take care. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. Ooh, hey, you wanna see something else cool? So this is me in Mexico. A rainstorm happened while we were riding bikes.
Chasing after a guy that stole my luggage.
Yeah, so that happened. Didn't steal my luggage, he actually took a bag of mine. I don't know why I called it luggage, it was just a bag with, like, some stuff in it. So, Briggs, what city do you think has the most potential or had the most potential? Well, I think you gotta look forward to which one has the most potential. Um, Major cities right now, I think one that could, like, rise from the ashes, so to speak, is Baltimore. Baltimore, they got a really sketchy history, they got a lot of crime, but they're doing a lot of the right things. Now they still have some very violent areas and all that. I'm not saying they're doing perfect, but a lot of tech companies are moving there. When tech companies or any companies start making that a hot spot, things get better. More jobs, less crime. It's a domino effect. Once you have more jobs, you have less crime, you more people stay in school, things like that. When you have opportunity, people change their ways. That's the best way to change ways. Um, and I think Baltimore's the one that could like rise from the ashes, I guess you could say. As far as cities that have a great future, I think the Charlotte, North Carolina area is looking good, along with Richmond, Virginia. Madison, Wisconsin looks really promising right now. And if you want to look at the middle of the country, you're probably looking at Des Moines, Iowa's showing some good things for the future. Yeah. Anyway, so I have a video I'm gonna put out tomorrow. It's just a walking tour of that. If you guys watch that, I'd appreciate it. Normal- Normally, I'm going. She have a drink in her hand. I got a little screen shows me my front door. I don't know where my wife's going. Um, top 10 would merge into another city to fix their issues. Oh, top 10 bad cities that would merge into another city. Usually they don't merge, they usually get taken over. Like cities get their police department taken over, suburbs get their police department taken over by the major city and stuff like that. That happens more often than you might think. You're breaking up. Can you repeat? Can I repeat what? Jenny W. Am I really? What is going on here? I should be fine. Let me see it's got me down here for Mike. What's my audio? Okay, got the right one. Da, 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 da. Everything looks fine. Mm. Yeah, everything looks fine. I don't know why I'm breaking up. Hey, Briggs, I know you'll probably not see this message, but I appreciate your videos documenting the states with the different statistics and living conditions. Ali, thank you for your. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've been to Panama. I lived in Panama for a while, outside of Cologne. It's not a bad place. It's hot as hell. Just be prepared for that. And you're never dry unless you're indoors. And then maybe. Well, see, the Midwest, Terry, is going to be the hotter place because the prices are dropping quicker than every place else, and they have jobs in most areas. I mean, if you get out in the little outskirts, small towns, probably not. But a lot of the Midwest cities are kind of companies are moving out there because it's cheaper, and then everyone's looking for lower cost of living. The coasts have just got too expensive, even though we're in a recession and all that. The coasts have just gotten too expensive, so people are moving to the inner part of the country, and I mean, that's going to mean Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri. we'll start seeing an increase in population and better jobs. The downside is it won't make much of a difference for 20 years, but people are moving out there. So this is what happens. This is typical for, we go like this. Places get too expensive, so people move to where it's cheaper. Now, once people have been moving there long enough, it gets too expensive. Then they start moving to other places. That's how they are. I mean, that's how human beings are. Back when we were hunter gatherers or whatever, and we hunted you know, the herds and stuff like that. We would move where we could survive better. And these days, sure, we're not gathering food in the forest and we're not hunting herds. We're going to where the work is and where we could survive better. That's typical human nature. And if, back in the days, if like the locusts came through or the herds weren't showing up in an area, you just didn't go to that area anymore. And that's what's happening on the West Coast. Can't make a living there. Only some people can. Your video is very insightful for us viewers and help us explore the U.S. without the expensive aspect of traveling. Yeah. Also, sorry for the typos. I really enjoy, love your content. Thank you very much for Suede Mist. Triggs. Cornerbergs, Hamilton County, Indiana is pricing out plenty of people. It used to be $700 last year, almost $300 markup for an apartment. Yeah, that's what happens. Probably because people were moving there. Once there's if nobody wants something, it's going to be cheap. Once people start showing up and they want something, it's going to get more expensive. That's just how the free market works. And that's with real estate, that's with everything. Sweden, how's our things in Sweden? Oh my God. I gotta tell you guys. So yesterday I got an email, and I was laying in bed because I wasn't feeling good. So I was reading emails, and this guy starts just berating me about something, and then he gets mad and tells me I'm unprofessional because I said something mean to him. I won't tell you what I said to him, but it was pretty funny. Um, I told him to eat a bag of male genitalia, basically. And he's all, how unprofessional I am. Dude, you just called me every name in the book and I'm the bad guy. It's like, if you're going to give someone that, expect it back. Don't be shocked when someone doesn't act professional when you're not acting, respectful at all. It's weird. Yes. I did get. Were you on that cruise? Did you get sick on your cruise like several others? Yes. Were you on that cruise, Lacey? I don't know. Or did you just find out? I just heard today that a whole bunch of other people got sick too. I'm one of them. Casper, Wyoming. How are you? I've heard of Kernville, California. What is my favorite city I've been to in the entire world? Well, in past tense, I really liked Portland before it fell apart. Honestly, it was the most funnest, whatever you want to do if you want to use proper English, city I've ever been to. It was beautiful. People were decent. People were very friendly, and it just took a turn for the worse somewhere around. I mean, it always had homeless and always had street people. Some of those people just were, I don't know, struggling, and now it's become a lifestyle, and it's too bad. But Portland used to be my favorite city. After that, I still love San Diego. Um, I'm a big fan of San Antonio too for some reason. Chicago I love, and that's just for the pizza. And yes, if you know anything about Chicago, you know the inner part, what they call the Loop, is a fairly safe area. It's just the South Side where it gets its reputation. I'm missing some guys. Sorry. Hey, Briggs, love your small video. You know what? Guys, I'm gonna have to. I know this is kind of rude, but I gotta slow down the chat a little bit. Nothing personal. Just some people are doing. What do you call it? Let me fix this. If I can, I don't know if I can right now. Screw it. Um, yeah, just I'm not gonna get into it, but don't keep asking the same question over and over, guys. It slows us down. Oh yeah. So did I don't know, Terry, if you've been around long enough, but I went to visit San Antonio and I was going to film it, and I flew out there for this express reason, just film downtown, get some good footage, get some pictures of the river walk. I chose the 1 week a year they drain the river to clean it out. It's like fail. It's like who's going to think to look that up? If I knew that was something they did, I would have looked it up. I just never looked it up. My favorite thing about New York State, I don't know. I like upstate, and I like it when it gets snowy there. That's kind of fun. But I'm only there for about a week, and I'm gone. So I visited, so I don't have to stick around for 4 months of snow. Briggs should do part 2 of YouTube's relationship with America. On my other channel, any of you that have ever thought about starting a YouTube channel, on the vlogging channel, which is, where I just put stuff up that doesn't make it onto this channel, I'm doing a thing on how to start a YouTube channel from the very absolute beginning. I'm going to break it down for all the way down to this is how you upload the video. You click this button, then this button. Because when I first started, I knew nothing. I love waiting an hour for pizza too. Iowa, how are you? Pennsylvania, Rick. Bay County, Pennsylvania. What do you think? I'm not even sure which one that is. I'm not up on all the counties as much as I know Wayne County really well. The counties in the country, I know the towns and I know the cities. I don't really pay attention to the counties. Yeah, but still, San Diego's a great city, and the homeless thing, especially in nice weather places, you kind of just accept it now. It's just part of the thing. Kind of like nice cities, popular cities are going to have some smog. It's just part of the thing. It's almost like you take it out of the equation a little bit and just look at everything else. Um, San Antonio, Portland, uh, San Diego, even you get down to Phoenix, everyone's got homeless now. Just some of them have it way worse. Well, right below Pittsburgh, I did not know that. What do you think of Multnomah County? It's the county right over from me. I'm in Washington County. I like Multnomah. I especially like now that I can pronounce it properly. About 10 years ago, I called it the wrong thing and people laughed at me. I'm from Inland Pacific Northwest and I love statistics, geography. Your channel is one of my favorites. Well, thank you very much, Charles. Yeah, that's about the truth. Winter can get pretty ugly in Chicago. It's bone chilling cold. Just gets into the bone type things. It's like one of those. It's like that cold where you have to come home, you get in the house, and you just can't get warm enough, so you actually have to get in the shower to try and bring up your temperature. Oh yeah, my brother went to basic near San Antonio. That was 34 years ago. He just retired. Chicago's nice, especially if you like thick pizza. Best big city to visit on a budget. Cleveland, Ohio. It's a big city. It's cheap. Algae, because your local media in Casper did a couple stories on your. Oh, sweet. Martin, thank you for that. Have you ever been here or just used statistics? No. I've been to most of what Casper. I've been to every state, first of all. I've been to Casper, been a couple of years, but I've been to Casper. Do you do you um do you do your own math with spreadsheets or do you do the videos? So I have a researcher. Most of our stats come from places like the FBI, the U.S. Census, the Department of Labor and Statistics, things like that. Normally, and then sometimes we'll go down to the state level and go to the state websites and get our stats from there. I never tell people where I get all my stats, and I never point people or give them classes on how to do the stats. I have enough people ripping off what I do right now. I'm not going to make it easier for them. The other one I pulled up what it is. The other places that I get my information from um, are the Department of Housing or an Urban Development and all those places. A lot of real estate ones, but I try and stick to the state and federal government level. What was this one? Have I been to Montana? If so, where? I've been to quite a few places in Montana. I've been to Missoula, I've been to Bozeman and Billings. I've been to Great Falls. That was I wouldn't count that one because I was a kid. Um, but trying to think where else I've been. God, I can't even think. I have been well, one's on, but Pasco, all where the train follows it. Um, been to Whitefish too. Nice. Now, a lot of them, like when I did the bottom thing where I went to Billings, Bozeman, I was in my 20s on that trip. Uh, I've been to Missoula in the last 5 years, I believe. Great Falls was when I was a kid. I think I already said that. Speaking of, here's a good question. Speaking of your researcher, how big is your team? So I have my oldest son who edits my videos. My youngest son does all my graphics and stuff like that. They kind of work together to put them out. I have a girl named Ellie. I have a girl named Suki who she usually does all the emails and stuff like that. And then my wife does all the research for On This Day. And then I do a lot of it too. I was able to do it all when I was doing 1, maybe 2 videos a week. 2 videos a week was a little bit of a stretch. I was really kind of overworked. So that's when my son started helping me, and that's when 2 became easier, and then 3, and now we're kinda doing just 4 a week. If I don't do a Saturday video, I live stream is the new deal for 2023. And I missed a whole bunch of things. I'm sorry, guys. Where have I been in Wisconsin? More than a few places. I've been to Madison quite a few times. The worst road trip of my life started in Madison, Wisconsin. I've been to the Wisconsin Dells too and La Crosse, and Milwaukee actually, Wauwatosa to be more specific. Um, but I went out to Madison to pick up a girlfriend from college, and we were going to drive back out to California. And I swear to God, it was the worst trip of my life. I wanted to either drop myself off and let her take my car, or I was going to leave her someplace. Thank you very much. Mary, what do you That's cool. Your family gets involved. Yep, they get involved. My oldest son, he got out of the army and he didn't have a job. I'm all, look, dude, let's learn how to edit. And he's been doing it ever since. He got out in 2018. We got 225 people in here, and I'm sorry I'm missing a lot of things, guys. I really do apologize. I've been through Glacier National Park. Interesting story about Glacier National Park. I forget the exact numbers. There's only been like 4 fatal bear attacks in Glacier National Park. And it was like 1966. Um, they had 2 in one day at different ends of the park, too. It wasn't like the same bear happened to attack 2 people. This was miles and miles away. 2 fatal bear attacks in one day. That's crazy. And they've only had 4 in its history. And I think it's been a national park. Don't quote me on this, but I think since the early 60s. I should do call-ins. That's something I've been thinking about. Getting some of you guys on here to talk about where you're from and stuff like that. You would have to have Restream, which is you could have it for free if you're calling in, or something like that. But we might do that in the future. If we're going to talk to each other about where you're from. I just got to figure out a way to how to mute people because you never know who you're going to get in case they get weird. You're planning to move to the US from Switzerland. Where should you move? Depends on what you're doing. Depends on what you want to do. If you're like the outdoor type, I'd look somewhere around the Great Smoky Mountains, like Asheville, North Carolina. It's a little played out. Maybe someplace near the Rocky Mountains. Those are always good. Depends on who you are and what you're looking for. DC, I'm good. How are you? Melbourne, Australia. World Gordon Briggs. I was thinking about using Restream myself. Yeah, I like Restream. Restream and what's the other one? StreamYard. They're pretty much the same thing. So I used to use, I forget what it's called now, but I used to overcomplicate this and try and get the best quality. And then I realized there was too many problems. Restream is just so easy. I click on it and here we are. Hello, Briggs. Would you do a video on Prescott, Arizona, Asheville, North Carolina? I think I just did one on Asheville not too long ago. Prescott, I don't think I've ever done one on it. Give me 1 second. I'm fixing something. I got some people spamming the thing here. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. What do I think about Oslo, Norway? I got a bunch of family that comes from there. My family's real last name is Rolfsson. So I shouldn't say real last name. That's where the Norwegian side comes from. That's their last name. Briggs, saw you're based on GDP. Do a video about the richest country based on how much resources, money, equipment they use on the military. That could be a good one. So everyone got on me about using the GDP of the country, and I should do it about how much the average person makes. Well, that is a video we have in the works, but I thought I'd do this one also. I have been to Big Bend. Been a while. I'm not sure, Dregs, how much it is. Company pays for it. My company pays for it. I don't know. There's different levels as everything, but I think if you were gonna call in and just, if I was gonna have you on as a guest, it's free. But if you want to start hosting your own thing, I think the lowest is like 19 a month or maybe even 13 a month, something like that. Do I think you could realistically fix Portland? They're doing a pretty good job right now. They got a long way to go. Not saying it's perfect, not saying there's much of a dent, but right now they're getting people out. The tents lining the sidewalk in front of businesses are being ushered out of the city. I'd say in the last 3 months, that's been cut down to about a quarter of what it was, say, 2 years ago. And they really started putting effort into it. They're cleaning up these areas. Um, I hope it keeps going. And I don't, like I've said before, I don't begrudge anyone that's homeless. They're in a rough situation. Sure, I'm sure 2 or 3% are just there because they're lazy, but the rest of the people have either had bad luck, they're addicted to something, or they have a mental disorder. We all know all that. So I feel for those people and they need help. But you can't just let them do that in front of businesses. Next thing you don't have any businesses. Your tax base goes down. Now you don't have any money for anything and the city falls apart. So that's the problem they've been hitting. Business have just been leaving Portland because of that situation. And that's the truth. Denzel's right. Politics have different views, but always act offended by. People are always offended. You can't help it. Oh, I missed one. Sorry about that. If I missed any more, I do apologize. BC, top 10 unusual towns or city names. Example, Tightwad, Missouri. My favorite is Climax, Pennsylvania, which isn't too far away from Blue Balls, Pennsylvania. Blue Balls is just like a little intersection in an area, but it's a place. That's a good one. Was in Portland for New Year's last month, walking in Pearl District. It was pretty surreal. Yeah, tense, strung. Yeah, it sucked. It's getting better though. Hopefully, it keeps getting better. Like I said, not saying it's the greatest place right now, but they're at least now working towards getting it back to the way it used to be. Yeah, Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Great, great name for a place. Can you do a video on Northwest Arkansas and the Ozarks? So I have one that I've done a little research on because Arkansas has its problems. You have that top northwest corner, which is doing really good, and it's nothing like the rest of the state. I mean, as far as economically, crime, housing, everything's different in that northwest corner in Arkansas. And I want to do a video on why, just kind of explore why it's different, why things are changing there. Toads suck, Arkansas. There is a place, I think it's in Canada. I saw it one day. Let me pull up my map here. And it had the best name. And oh my God, what was it? It it's it was something to the effect like dry humps, Canada or something like it was something bizarre. I think it was that. I gotta find it though. There's Pugwash. That's a good one in Canada. Pugwash. Okay, I gotta scroll back because I've been talking and not looking at the chat as much I want, and I almost missed like uh BC me. BC me. Thank you for supporting the channel, first of all. I hope I didn't miss anyone else. That's just straight up rude of me if I did. By the way, so far in today's what you guys can't see, I've been keeping a little bit of a count. I've blocked 9 people from the channel. So what happens is I have a bunch of words that if you put them in the chat, I have to okay them, just so we don't have a bunch of profanity or something like that. And there's some people are just straight up racist and putting all kinds of horrible things in there. So I block them. So today we're up to 8 or not. Sorry. 8. What did I say a minute ago? New Orleans has some really nice restaurants. Ranking all 50 state capitals. I've thought about that one or just doing an explanation of all of them. I might do that. World, according to Briggs, what about nuclear power plants? Tat reactors. That's one that we could do. Places with the most nuclear reactors. Here, hold on a sec. Let me see what this one says. Sorry, Briggs, on my question on Prescott, and Asheville, I meant to say which love your show. That didn't get much better. Info for the cities. Well, David, I'm glad you love the show. Downtown Burbank. I haven't been to Burbank in years. Last time I went to Burbank, I was a stand-up comedian. God, it's weird. So Burbank, well, I went through there on a train. That doesn't count. But actually, last time I spent any time in Burbank was probably 2009. I've been down to LA and all kinds of other places. Family down in LA, but yeah, Burbank. I kind of like that city sometimes. One heck of a neat small town, Jefferson, Texas. Briggs, where do you get all your stats on cities and towns? Like I was saying, usually from different sources, like crime stats come from the FBI, different housing organizations, the census, things like that. Folsom, in Tall Pines, how are you? Things are good. Best art quality again because we that one. Thoughts on Switzerland, if any? I just did a whole video on Switzerland, why it's the best country in Europe. You should check that one out. It's like 3 weeks ago I did that one. Burbank and the Amtrak, I don't know why I'm going to tell you this. I thought it was interesting. That is the only Amtrak stop that will drop you off at an airport. Usually they're a few miles away or whatever, but the Amtrak drops you right off at the Burbank airport. Am I glitching? So I should be fine. I monitor it on my phone when I'm doing this, and I haven't seen any glitches or anything like that. I don't know what's going on. Maybe YouTube's having a problem, but I'm seeing everything fine. Switzerland is expensive. Any place nice is going to be expensive. Cape Coral, Florida. Cape Coral, is that the one I'm thinking of? It's like an insane person designed Cape Coral. What is the one I'm thinking of? Oh my God. So let me pull this up here real quick. Okay, it's not the one I'm thinking of. Cape Coral's not. Where's the one I'm thinking? It's down in Miami. It's just they built this whole area. I was looking at it on the map. I can't remember which one it was. Just houses are on top of each other, and the whole thing looks like a maze. It's insane. Anyway, I'll be in Miami, I think, in October. I can't. 1 second. So I'm still breaking up, huh? I'm not seeing any change or anything like that here. I don't know what's going on. If anyone's seen any glitching, say I. Am I a fan of Sydney, Australia? Sydney's nice. I find Australia very interesting. I need to go down there. And actually, I was there with the military one time, briefly. Well, a month, but we didn't get much time to see things. Um, but yeah, it was pretty interesting. Nashville. I so you've been seeing glitching. Wow, I don't know what's going on. My whole thing's working fine. I think it's YouTube because a lot of them have been having problems. It's not breaking up here. Yeah, see, I think it's just some people. Do we have any big storms going on in the country right now? Why am I pulling up my wrong thing? Okay. There we go. Any big storms? That's usually the case because if I'm not seeing any change, any difference. Ooh, anyone in the South might be having a problem seeing me. You've got a major storm going over you guys right now. So if you're in the South, it looks like from Mississippi to South Carolina, all the way up to Knoxville, um, Wilmington, North Carolina, down to Jacksonville. You guys all might be having a hard time with everything. So everyone's getting this. Okay. Oh, I watch Ryan Hall y'all all the time. I don't know how that dude makes it interesting. He actually, you know what it reminds me of? Almost like Sports Center for weather. He kind of runs it like that. Oh, look at this, guys. He's all excited about it. He gets you excited about it. Thank you for your service. Did your favorite place where your station visited tour? I love Panama. I love Central America. When I was in my youth, and as I just liked the jungle, and I don't know what it was. And on top of it, I was a young man, and I really like Hispanic women or Latin American women, so that helped. Riggs, YouTube's having problems. For further details, watch Joey Vegas DTech. YouTube is broken. SOS. Yeah. We're recording Briggs. I love jungle in Colombia. I love Colombia. Just not. Intel Pines. What do you think about Vegas? I like Vegas to visit. I don't think I'd ever live there. I'm not a desert person. Just gets too hot for me. But I go down to Vegas and visit. I like to think so. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, I forget that I'm, over 50, and I look in the mirror and I'm all, who is this man? Wife is Colombia. It's from Colombia. Colombia. My wife's family's from Mexico, at least half of them. Thank you. I feel like I'm in my 50s every time I get up from a chair these days. Oh my God. IT is it's the age and yeah, that's I always I one of my favorite quotes, even though people don't like him, Hugh Hefner. He's from a different time, but by today's standards, he's a horrible person. He one time had a quote that said, "You're only as young as the women you feel." It's like that's genius. Hey, PJ, thank you for supporting the channel. Character jumping up and down saying number one. Hey, thank you very much, PJ Richards. I really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the channel. I'm your biggest fan now. Do you have a channel? Should have a channel. Your son's in his 50s. Really? When I was a kid, I didn't know that the river and the county were spelled differently. Or the country. Sorry, Columbia. So, oddly enough, so I was in the military at the time, and I was down on leave, and my mom asked me to move some bricks. And it wasn't a bunch of bricks. It was probably 4 or 5 trips holding about 4 bricks at a time. That's the first time I felt my age. I woke up, and I was only 27. I woke up in the morning. I was, oh my god, what's wrong with my back? Oh, I could barely move, and I realized I was picking up these bricks wrong, because I thought I was indestructible still at that point. You know how you are when you're in your 20s. I'm gonna live forever. Screw the old people. High frequency tornadoes moving closer to New York every year. I'm afraid my town will get run over. Yeah, it could be. Well, it's like every time we have an El Nino, the Los Angeles area gets hit by hurricane weather. And as the ocean gets warmer, it starts moving further up. Part Hispanic. Use your knees. That's the truth. My opinion on Chat GPT, GPT, I thought it was. Um, I messed around with it, filled with errors. I mean, I did a couple things trying to see what would happen, but I had to fix about half of it. Who knows? Yeah, that's the truth. You get to an age where it hurts to sleep sometimes. Get Briggs to 1 million. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, if you haven't given this video a big thumbs up, please do so. Really helps out the channel. Hey, and I got a new subscriber, casual subscriber, Michael King. Thank you very much. Where's the high frequency? Okay, we got to that already. Oregon does not have a sales tax. Anthony, thanks for hanging out with us. I think we're gonna knock this out pretty soon too, because my cold medicine is starting to wear off. you think Joplin? Oh, Joplin was. They got destroyed by that tornado, didn't they? Not too some years back. Some years back. What was the one I'm thinking of? Was that the 80s? Take wisdom. Hard body and wisdom would be great. Good evening, Briggs. Good evening, Briggs. I live in Louisiana and I am last year of college and ready to get the hell out of Baton Rouge. How do you feel about Reno, Nevada? Reno's not bad. I like Reno myself. Their stats aren't great. 2011, that's when it was. Yeah, the stats aren't the best of Reno, but stats aren't great anywhere. Reno's not that bad. Just make sure you got a job lined up. Galveston, Texas used to be cursed city of all natural disasters, always attacking. Yeah, and I think Galveston's the place where they had that big pier explosion back in the 30s, like blew up half the town. Was that Galveston? I hope you're sake. You know it's bad when you're mess. There you go. I had a really good friend who had back surgery, high school and stuff. Guy never really drank, didn't even smoke weed, anything like that. He didn't do anything, and had back surgery and got addicted to pills. Sucked, destroyed his life. God, that was a great song by Glenn Campbell. Galveston, oh Galveston. Talking about a girl he met in Galveston. Moved here, huh? Connecticut, much happier, I bet. Connecticut gets a little too cold. 78 tornadoes and night. Wow. Written about Dukes of Hazzard. That are not enough. Yeah, they do the job. They're a little bit better than I called. Doctor gives them to me because I got bad back, bad knees, bad hip. Um, but they're not. It's not the point where you need them and then you keep having to need them. If I'm having a bad day, I could take two and then forget I even have them for a month till I have a bad knee day or something like that. All right, guys, we're glitching again, and I'm getting kind of phased out here. So I'm going to knock tonight off. I'm about to start coughing, and no one needs to see a coughing fit. I appreciate you all hanging out with me tonight, and we'll probably do this again next Saturday. Hopefully, I'll feel a lot better. Okay, and hopefully, um, hold on, we have a cruise question. Briggs, didn't you just go on a cruise? How was it? The cruise was amazing. I had a great time, and I'm gonna have some videos coming out on the vlogging channel here in about 3 or 4 days. All right, guys. You guys have a great night. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and we'll see you next week for a live stream, probably. Okay.